Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6, and this is it's another video on The Flash Season 6, isn't it? So we are back again with another episode of The Flash in a few days' time, which will of course be episode 17, otherwise entitled Liberation, with this episode also serving as the third last episode of the season now, and I think this could actually feel like that type of episode. Like if this was episode like 20, I can understand, like it seems like that's how it's going to feel. Like I don't think episode 18 or 19 that we're going to be getting in the next couple of weeks will feel like the second last or the finale episode, because they were never meant to be or written that way. But just from the look of 17, the events that are going down in it sort of do feel like something you would expect in one of the last few episodes of the season, like around episode 20 or maybe even 19. Now in this video we are going to be going over some new promo material for the episode coming out in a few days, as well as what will carry on from this season into the next one as well. That they, wouldn't have originally planned, to do so. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, and we'll talk about that. So, yeah. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions, thoughts, theories, anything you want to add. Let me know that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. And excitement for what's to come, especially during this time on the channel. But I will quickly just read out the synopsis again. It's really short, but it gives, I guess, some context to what we're talking about. After recent events, Barry takes a closer look at his life with Iris. Eva makes a bold move. So yeah, let's just jump straight into these promo images. I think there's about 12 or 11 or something like that. Anyway, let's go through them. So the first bunch are of Mirror Iris. Now, she's got the bun going on, but also a bit of a ponytail, so it's almost like some samurai thing going on. Interesting. Anyway, so we've got Mirror Iris here. She's wearing a coat in this first one, but then the rest of the ones that we see her in, she's not wearing this coat, I'm pretty sure. So I'm guessing this is when she walks in. She's like, yo, I've returned from the diss track I laid last episode. What's doing? Now, the thing with these promo images that we're going to go over, they're all set in either, it's pretty much two scenes by the looks of it. One with Mirror Iris and some other people, and then normal Iris and Eva. So they're not really giving us a lot in regards to the promo images, which usually means there's a lot going on in this episode that they don't want to spoil in the promo images. That's usually a good way to grasp how much of the episode they want to sort of keep hidden, is how much they show in the promo images. So yeah, and basically it's stuff we've seen in the trailer but just sort of explored a bit more. Yeah, we see Mirror Iris and Starlabs, and this should just ring an alarm bell, because obviously at the end of last episode we had, Mirror Iris pretty much dissing Barry pretty hard and saying that pretty unforgivable thing about, Barry being the cause of, I guess, both of their parents being gone. But now she's back in Star Labs with Barry, and it's important to remember she doesn't work at Star Labs, so there has to be a reason for her to come in. And obviously Mirror Iris has been doing some shifty stuff. So I'd assume this is happening middle to, if not later in the episode. This isn't in like the opening half of the episode, because I'd be surprised if Barry would, or even Mirror Iris would even go into Star Labs after what happened at the end of last episode. So I think this is a bit into the episode. But this is where we get to see some interesting things. So once again, we have Mirror Iris, we have Nash looking over her. I don't know what's on the screen. I don't know, it might be a meme, it might be, I don't know, I was trying to think of some funny little internet thing and I just had a mind blank. Maybe they're watching Annoying Orange. Actually, why would they watch that? Anyway, let's move on. But this is actually like where things start to move along. So we see Barry and Cecile. Now, obviously in the trailer for this week, we saw Barry and Cecile working together. Barry's pretty much doing investigating. Hey, CSI, but he's doing some investigating, getting some evidence and stuff that piles on Iris acting against the normal, against the what she would normally do, even in this like post-crisis timeline. So she's probably getting some, Barry's probably getting some feedback off Cecile, like, hey, is this against Iris, what she would normally do, blah, 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 and listing all the different things. We saw some of it, like her, sneaking out in the middle of the night and various things like that on the board. And I'm sure in the episode we'll get to see more of it and in, detail, and, they'll explain it if they need to. But Barry and Cecile will be working together in this episode, which I'm pretty intrigued by, especially to see if Cecile does use her powers on Iris. You'd have to think she would, but maybe when she reads Iris's mind, she gets like it hurts her maybe to read it. Maybe that might be why they can't just have Cecile reading it and they have to go through some other techniques, which they do actually hint at in these promo images. So maybe that's what happens there. So Cecile's useful, but not ultra useful, because maybe her powers don't work how they want them to work in this case, but who knows. But yeah, we have this one with Barry and Cecile, and Cecile's almost given that, hey, gotcha, look to Mirror Iris. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Cecile makes some snarky comments. I'd hope she would, because Joe's not there. Joe's obviously in witness protection, so hopefully Cecile steps up, which she usually does. When Joe's gone, that's usually when you get the best Cecile episodes when Joe's not there, because they sort of give her some of Joe's lines. So Cecile will probably be filling in that parent role in regards to like having a go at this mirror Iris or this fake Iris. Now this is interesting because I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. It's sort of a bit confusing. So we're going to have to theorize. So we do have these three here. So we have Cecile, Mirror Iris, Nash. They're all looking worried. Like, they all look scared. So I don't know, like, is Barry just undressed in front of them? I don't know what's going on here. They all look scared and very worried as to what's going on. Mirror Iris is holding this device, which does come back into play in a second. So she's holding that thing down there. It's like almost looks like a big flash that would be on top of a camera, which might explain what's going on in this scene. But she's holding that thing. Then we go to the next one, and Cecile's stepped out, but it's still Nash and Mirror Iris. Now, obviously, Cecile could be off screen, but they were much closer before, so it seems like it's Cecile's moved off screen. But then we do move to this other one, or the last one in this Star Lab setting, I guess you could say, where it's actually Nash, Barry, and Cecile all on one side, and they seem to be looking at Iris. So what's going on here? Well, they have that little device there, and as I said, it sort of looks like the camera, or like, sorry, the flash that would be on top of a camera. And I wonder if they're using that to test the sort of what this Iris is made of. You know how when we had that Camilla thing from whatever episode it was, I think it was episode 13, or I think it was 14, the end of 14. Yeah, it was. I think it was the end of 14 when Camilla had taken that photo of Iris and Wally, and then later in the episode, like, the prismatic filter revealed that Iris was this, like, made of like mirrors or this reflective device and stuff like that. I wonder if this device that Barry's holding does that. Now, I don't know why Mirror Iris would have been holding it in that first promo image, because you obviously do see her holding it, but then Barry's holding it towards the end. So I don't know why she would have been holding it unless she was using it on Barry. That's the only thing I can think of. So she was using it on Barry to prove that it doesn't affect him, and then pretty much they just picked it off one by one to see who it affected the most, and then Iris is the last, or the Mirror Iris is the last one standing there, and it affects her completely, and that's how they pretty much fully expose her. Now, Nash has that gauntlet with the red things. Now, people with like the red lights. Now, people were referring back to, I think it was episode 3 or 4 when Nash first appears and it goes off on the real Iris. So maybe he's testing that to see if it actually goes off on her, because his gauntlet was always going off near her and it was reading signatures off her when it was just normal Iris back then. So maybe he's seeing if it actually goes off or not. Once again, as like a further proof, or just further proof in general, that this is the real Iris or not. So I don't know, this is going to be a big scene, I think, where a lot happens, but I'm intrigued. I just want to know what that device is, because as I said, it looks like the flashlight on top of a camera, and the whole thing with like the prismatic filter and stuff, and attached to Camilla's camera from earlier on the season. It seems like it might be similar to that, but we'll have to wait and see. I want to see how it goes down. And the last 3 promo images are of the real Iris and Eva, or Mirror Master in the Mirror World. Eva should be getting out this episode. I think it's the bold move she makes, but I think Iris is obviously suspicious of Eva and wants to know what the hell's going on with her. So I think this is a confrontation scene, but towards the end, it seems that it resolves because they're sitting down. These usually are in chronological order. So they're sitting down and talking, so maybe everything gets resolved. Maybe Eva just tells Iris a lie. I'd assume that's probably what happens there. She just lies to Iris. But yeah, Eva will get out this episode. Maybe Iris learn some information that might help her get out at a later stage as well, which is probably going to be in episode 18. Obviously, Godspeed is in the next episode, so it's going to be interesting to see if they do a cliffhanger or setup for that. But I have a feeling the cliffhanger or setup will most likely be with either Iris learning information that helps her get out of the mirror world the next episode herself, or it's something to do with Eva. So I think that will be the cliffhanger, or set up for next episode, or just set up for the future instead of anything Godspeed related. He'll probably just show up at the beginning of next episode. Now, the big thing from the end of this season heading into next season is the fact that this season's been cut short and there's storylines going on. So there's been a big discussion about what storylines may or may not carry over to next season. And I think pretty much most of them will go over, because I don't think they're just going to end them randomly unless an actor was only signed on for this season and then they won't go over to next season. It's just not worth them to carry over just to finish the storyline. They might just say it happened off screen or something like that. So the big storylines are obviously Eva. She was most likely just going to carry over to next season, probably be involved in the first half. Maybe Carver, there's a question mark on him, because it wouldn't surprise me if Eva maybe kills him in these episodes to come, and it might be an episode before they actually have to stop filming, so it might be in episode 19 where she kills him or does something to him. So there's a question mark on him. Nash is a character that's 100% probably going to carry on to next season, because episode 20, the last episode they almost finished filming, was called All's Wells That Ends Wells, and was probably an episode dedicated to him, or he was the main character at least. So he's at least going to have to carry over to next season for a few episodes, if not just be the Wells, I guess, because we're in this new world and we're led to believe he's just the Wells in this Earth Prime, so he should just stick around, I guess, and I guess the Allegra storyline goes along with that. And the other big one is Sue and Ralph. Who knows if they're even going to get close to finishing that. I think Hartley Sawyer, who played Ralph, said something like episode 18 or 19, there is more Ralph and Sue stuff, but we'll have to wait and see if they even get close to finishing that, because I don't know if that was just a this season thing, and there's still a question mark whether they're even going to do it next season. But I guess if they're cut off and they can't finish the storyline, then yeah, it's probably going to go on next season. So can be seen as a good thing. I think for the Eva and Black Hole thing, I think it's actually a good thing, because then they can rethink how they were doing things. They can even add stuff that maybe they didn't think they'd have enough time to do this season. Now they could do it for the first half of next season, have much more stuff, introduce more stuff, and they even have more money to do it as well. So, I think it's a plus in some areas, but it could be a negative just because they might feel like they need to force a storyline being finished, which might cause issues and make people not the biggest fans of it, but it just matters whether it's clogged or not. I don't think it will. I think it should be fine, but there's still a question mark on a couple of storylines, whether they take them over to next season, or at least how much time they spend on them next season. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. I'm intrigued to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.